In this video, I'm going to explore the concept of hegemony and some of the different ways in which the term is used. I'm trying out these videos as a way of promoting my blog, so please do have a look at it. The link's in the description. In response to a blog post that I wrote last week, I was asked by someone what is hegemony and how to pronounce the word. It struck me that this is a typical example of a word in political scientist vocabulary that, quite understandably, not everyone will be familiar with outside of that world. The word hegemony simply means leadership or preponderant influence. When someone speaks of American hegemony, they mean American leadership. Or if they speak of Western hegemony, they mean the leadership of the group of states that we typically clump together under the label the West. Hegemony is an important concept in international relations because it implies that there's some order, some pattern of relationships between states. The hegemon's leadership arises because it has more power than others, and this leadership gives it considerable influence over them. As you will have noticed, I'm saying the word aloud, hegemony. But if you're saying hegemony or hegemony, don't worry too much about it. I don't claim any authority over pronunciation, and actually all three pronunciations seem to be in quite wide circulation. I'm primarily describing hegemony as used by international relations scholars. Using concepts properly is important because theories are constructed using them. For example, if we are trying to understand or to explain how the global trading regime is able to function, then one theory that can potentially assist us is hegemonic stability theory. This was developed in the 1970s and 1980s, and it says that a stable order, a stable pattern of relations among states and other international actors is made possible by the presence of a hegemon. Proponents of hegemonic stability theory might point to Great Britain's position as hegemon in the 19th century and claim that it used its position to oversee a period of relative stability which was based on rules that upheld free trade. As British power declined at the end of the 19th century and into the early 20th century, international relations became increasingly unstable and the number of wars between states grew. The United States has occupied a similar role in international relations since 1945. The idea of hegemonic stability theory, then, is that the hegemon is in effect creating and enforcing the rules among states and other international actors. One way to interpret this is that the hegemon seeks to dominate others and that a stable hierarchy arises and endures in international relations insofar as the dominant state, the hegemon, is able to coerce others to play by the rules. IR neoliberals are inclined to see things slightly differently. They might argue that a stable order is best achieved if that order is not only seen as being in the hegemon's interest, but also in the interest of other states and other international actors. From this perspective, the endurance of a stable order does not rely on the presence of a hegemon. I should reiterate that I've described the term as used widely in international relations scholarship. A related idea, for example, rooted in the work of Italian Marxist Antonio Gramsci, identifies hegemony as a relationship within a society. For Gramsci, a socially dominant group maintains its position, its hegemony, by convincing subordinate groups to buy into its ideology. In this way, there is no need for the hegemon to coerce others in order to control them. Gramscian hegemony is a subtle or more insidious form of control over other actors, such that they consent to it. persuaded that it's in their interests in spite of their subordinate position. The culture of international relations in a condition of Western hegemony could be understood in terms of Gramscian hegemony. Many people will use the word hegemony interchangeable with words like primacy or dominance. While there are some caveats, I don't think that's a problem. I think it's okay to use American primacy as a synonym for American hegemony, for example. So now we've explored the concept of hegemony, as I understand it at least. Why not take a look at my blog, where I expect I use the term oftener than I'm aware of. Please also consider buying a copy of my book. Alternatively, you can buy me a coffee.